Hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar from DayTradingRadio.com. Back with you with another video and basically ongoing education. An ongoing education video series kind of based on trading that I'm doing each week in the room and on the air live. So Marvell was one that was we spotted a couple of weeks ago into this lower trend line, upward 200 period moving average, down oversold stochastics. This is a pure high probability setup, and that's the one reason I wanted to bring you this example on the board that took off. So when you see what we call multiple, there's these two terms are interchangeable: high probability setup and multiple indicator setup. Now, high probability setup is one with multiple indicators. The more multiple indicators set up, the better the probability of the setups, hence the high probability setup. So I don't really label anything a high probability setup unless it has at least 3 indicators lining up. And I'm even stretching it then, and it has to be it has to be definitely 2 of the major ones that I want to see lining up. But I tend to try to give my high probability setups, to be honest, like a 4 or 5 indicator rating. And that's really what I'm looking for. And Marvell is a great example because we go just a little fast review of the indicators. One is the oversold stochastics. All right. There's other ways of trading stochastics. We cover that all the time. I'm going to do actually a very special video on how to trade the wedge pattern in stochastics, or the coiling stochastics, and how to trade that and how to recognize that pattern playing out with the overall price of the stock, and how it's one of the most explosive moves in the market. All right, so this one was, again, the oversold stochastics. You want to have a trend line support. So you have an underlying trend line support. You want to have a recognizable pattern. You have a recognizable channel here. 2 points, 2, 3, 4. All right, so everything's pointing here. So everything so far is checking off. It's just stochastics, trend line, recognizable pattern, even support and resistance here. Support and resistance and moving average. That's 5 out of 5 right there. In that case, you just got to take the trade. Now, again, explosive move off of that, pushed right up against the channel, stopped pretty much at the channel line. And again, then you have to reevaluate your trade. Still looks like it has strength. I want to say it's going to continue to move through this channel. But the trade's already been, actually, I wouldn't be chasing it at this point if you're in it. RYL. This was a stock that we've kind of got out of this larger wedge pattern. It broke up, and this is really the first retracement, but we didn't get all the way pulled back on the stochastics. And the reason I took this entry here is because I didn't feel like we have that, we were going to get down to that level. I thought this was a great opportunity in the housing off of this really good reversal wedge pattern. Very nice long-term wedge. So I don't think we're going to get that much of a pullback. So I just started my position in that. Ended up catching catching this bounce, sold into it on Friday, and now I'll just wait for the next setup. But that was a little different. That's not what you call high probability or multiple indicator setup. That's just like a secondary entry where we trade the first pullback either onto a moving average or into a pullback or a full cycle of the stochastics. Meaning that after it goes up, it comes right back into the oversold level. All right, SYY. Another stock that we traded to this week, and the reason we got into this one, again, stochastics were giving us a good signal here. We were holding into this consolidation, but then we started holding this 20 period moving average. And when I see a stock hold it for 2 days in a row and set up like on a reversal like this is a very powerful pattern. We're holding the 20. We've just been chopping all around. We've been holding it, which we haven't been really holding it, and we reversed and closed near the highs of the day. And very close to yesterday's highs. So we put a buy order in at the break of those 2 days, 2-day high, and from that you get the momentum spike and you sell it into strength, which we did on Friday. And we wait for the next setup. I'll wait for the next time the stochastics rotate back. It might even go higher. It definitely, I'm just saying, recognize the trade, trade to trade, step on, take the next position that comes your way. Don't make anything too complicated. Just want to show you the FXI. We talked about that setting up, and it did really have a nice breakout on, I think it was on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah. So on Monday, because you really couldn't get that breakout. That was on, excuse me, on the watch list for a buy trigger of 43.10. So it kind of gapped above that and went up to 44.50. Target was like 45. You know, Chinese stocks still look good right now. No call on this one this week. I wouldn't re-add it to the watch list. FXI. GNK and the shippers had a nice move based off of the stochastic wedge pattern. And again, you can see the stochastic wedge pattern, something I'm going to do a special video on, with a bottoming pattern here. A little, just a little, you know, I guess you would say that you can't even tell it's a really inverted head and shoulders. But what you're doing was you're buying into this pattern, basically. You're buying into the pattern. As the pattern gets tighter and tighter, you're going to get the explosion up to the upside. So you're buying down here just based on the stochastics. And then you get that crossover in the rally. So from that point on, you got a nice little round. Now it pulled back on Friday. We'll see how it sets up this week. ROV is one that we traded. And basically, that was a momentum trade. We got in really good on that one. Took it up. Took profits. Now, starting to look to re-enter. Took a little shares, a couple shares, on Friday. And I think we're going to have an opportunity in this. I don't think we're going to pull back that far. But I think we're going to get a decent opportunity in it. There's a little more downside. And I would definitely look to add to a position down here. ROVI. Deutsche Bank was a beautiful, beautiful little larger wedge pattern, which is, you know, this is a textbook pattern right here. You can actually see how nice it is, right? Just very organized. Boom, 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 boom. So call for this one to break up because the stochastics, look at the stochastics. What a signal that was. All right, this is called a positive stochastic divergence. Pull back in the stochastics, but sideways consolidation on the price trigger, or the price, and then you get the turn up on the stochastics and the break up. And again, took profits into that. Not worried about what's going to happen at this level, but know that I'm going to get this level. I want to definitely see that coming a mile away. BBD, just want to let you know, traded this one effectively out of this wedge pattern, and I just started getting back in, so I just want to talk about that. Again, secondary entries. First, primary entries. This was a high probability setup. Wedge pattern, lower trend line, 200 period moving average, stochastics, even the added stochastic pattern. This was such a powerful pattern, you know, it crushed this stock. Now it's pulled back, so we always look for that first pullback out of a pattern to buy into. Now in the case here, the banks were getting hit on Friday, so there was a little aggressive selling in the bank stocks, and this is even a foreign bank, but it was also getting pushed down. Definitely think we'll probably hold the 200 period moving average, and I don't even know if we're going to get down to that far. I'd like to see us start holding here. I know either way, my risk reward is really good down this level. You know, it's fine above the 200 period moving average, and we're going to look to move back up off of that, the BBD. So looking back into that one now, PRGO was on the watch list, and it was really an interesting setup because it was again, a trend line, oversold stochastics. We didn't really have a pattern yet. You know, I put this trend line as a 1, 2, 3 method, where you put the lower trend line in if you have 3 points of the chart, 1, 2, 3. So you draw that top line, and then you take the parallel line and make it parallel. So you would draw the corresponding trend line up from these two areas, and we held it pretty good, and turned out the stochastics were really the key thing. And again, my first two indicators I look for is the trend line stochastic combination. That's my favorite. And then underneath that, the 200 period moving average has to be, you know, and then I want to see that recognizable pattern. But and definitely in that order. And we'll give you a little special one because this is going out to everyone out there. Members, well, actually, I'm going to be doing the 10 for 1,000 watch list coming up after this video and getting it out there, and that's for the members of the site. But Yum, I can tell you right now, Yum's going to be on it, even though we called this one last week on a pullback. Now, I want to also post last week's watch list on the web, And I've never done that before. I never really posted a 10 for 1,000 watch list out in the public, and I'm going to do that just to get because there's so much education on it. I go over so many different stocks, and you can look back and you actually see the movements if you can look back. So it's a good learning tool, I think. It's a good educational little video. Now that it's past, it's past tense. The video, we're not using any of those setups, but it's a great little educational video. So if you happen to have more free time for another video, look for that one to come out. So Yum Brand's going to look at this was off on our watch list last week, and what I was talking about it was I specifically, I don't know who we is, I specifically said watch for that little breakdown, watch for that little breakdown so we get the stochastics to come down a little bit further. And we got the breakdown, we started buying into that, added to it, and then reversed, and boom. Now we're going to get this powerful coiled stochastic indicator about to break out, and it's going to give us a momentum trade to the upside. I mean, we're not talking a big points, but when you're in a stock that you feel real comfortable in, this looks excellent. So I think it's just in the beginning phases of a two if not 3 day move. So that's Yum Brand. So the stocks that we're trading in and out of, looking at Radio Shack next week. I want to watch this one. Kind of a triple bottom, larger channel here. Stochastics in a wedge pattern. I know it's going to move soon. The timing here is a little different. I was waiting for the stochastics to pull down a little bit further, and then for us to curve up and explode out. So with that might have caused this to come down a little. So that's the only reason I'm waiting on this. But soon we'll have a nice move up, unless there's any relevant news about it. Oh man, I got so many more videos to go. I'm going to stop talking, get this one out. Hope you enjoyed it. You could always leave me some feedback, and also join the action every day from 8:30 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. The whole market day I'm broadcasting live on DayTraderRadio.com. See you there.